Welcome to the No Hangover podcast.
You can check us out on all our platforms: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, now with video. Our social media platforms: Instagram at No Hangover Podcast and TikTok _hangover. Enjoy. Well, with that, welcome back.
Welcome to the No Hangover.
We back. We back.
But for my love for dark liquor, I was off that Henny yesterday.
Well,
It's a fun time.
I was drinking tequila, so we're back.
I was drinking energy drinks.
You gotta keep yourself awake. This is Eric. This is Jacob over here talking about his alcoholism.
This is
from
me.
a young age.
Yeah.
And there's Dennis behind the mics,
I'm
behind the
here.
cameras. The
Behind all things.
I didn't really start
conscious.
drinking like that, though, till
That's right. Till
later.
21.
Well, no, that's a lie again.
Oh my God.
So
We were getting indicted.
I just, because, I mean, high school parties and shit, we all were drinking back then.
Water.
Gatorade.
That wasn't no water.
Blue Gatorade.
There's a shot called Gatorade shots.
Definitely drank some UV blue in high school. Remember that shit?
I remember that party specifically. You had that shit.
I was like, guys, I found fucking, look at this shit.
Oh, that was some wild shit.
Just downed a bottle, like, almost to myself.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't recover the same.
Not off that.
Jacob, I don't know if you were there, but that was a wild time. I'm sure you were there.
We were all acquaintances. Well, me and you were. Cool.
Maybe not.
Jacob and I were acquaintances.
Yeah, I didn't really know Jacob that well.
We would just, the only time me and Dennis would chill or talk, I would say, because pretty much the only time we would see each other is like at lunch,
In between classes.
standing by the wall and shit.
The wall.
The
wall. Own that shit.
Fucking wall. Standing on that shit like we were holding it up.
You still see JanSport imprints
Best
and
believe.
tennis shoes from leaning against that thing.
Best believe that was the spot.
That's some shit. All right.
You got to see everybody pass you. Everybody had to look at you because you were right there. You're just
Well, that
sit.
was the spot. But let's get into it. Drake dropped a surprise album.
Honestly,
Surprise to some of us.
never mind.
That's the name of the album.
Yeah, surprise to some of us. I had texted, did I text you as well? I had texted Jordan about a week before it happened, or 2 weeks before it happened. Like, I was like, hey, Christmas may come early this week, because I had heard, like, from the deep internet places that I frequent.
The black market.
Yeah. I had heard, like, a Drake album was coming. Like, he's doing a summer album.
Well,
now.
we knew winter was coming, but
Relax. Relax, we'll get there. Yeah.
I already saw that part though. So
Okay, we'll get there. Yeah, I had seen I'll speed up the process. I heard a thing said Drake summer album incoming. He wants to do a surprise release to put out an album to drop a tape for the summer. And I texted. I was like, this is kind of probably bullshit, because you hear internet rumors all the time. I was like, but I texted Jordan. I was like, hey, Christmas might come early this week. Just be on the lookout for Friday. And didn't tell him that it was Drake, and he paid no mind to the text.
Yeah.
he told me he was like, yeah, I realized once it dropped that he was like, Dennis did text me this a week before, but I had no idea what he was talking about.
So I knew what was coming,
encrypted codes.
But you guys have voiced your opinions on me having music beforehand, and that kind of ruining certain.
I mean, it doesn't ruin it. I'm gonna listen to it when it comes out,
Right.
regardless. Yeah.
It's just a certain. I mean, never.
I didn't want to ruin
ruined
that
it.
one.
Yeah,
it
doesn't ruin
that
it.
one. I think that it was kind of cool that everyone was.
Yeah.
So when Jacob hit me, he was like, Drake album's coming. I was like, I know.
Been there.
He's like, I've known it for weeks. I'm like, oh, all right.
But it was still cool. I was like, oh, it was
Yeah, 'cause
confirmed.
I sent it to you before you ever messaged the group chat. So I had already seen it, and then you're like, oh, I just saw this, and then I guess Jordan saw it a little bit after you.
Yeah, I texted Jordan. I was like, this is what I was referring to. I replied to my own text.
Yeah.
And then he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, Drake release. And he goes, what? He still didn't
He was
know.
like, what is going on?
And I was like, there's a Drake album coming out in 3 hours. And he's like, no way. He didn't say no way, but he was like, But
He was just.
so that was all the lead up to it. I thought it was a pretty cool marketing,
yeah.
almost, you can't do if you're reading this. I mean, he can, I think, do an if you're reading this, it's too late.
It might be too big for that now.
People got wind of this album, so people were gonna get wind of any surprise release that he had. But the album came out. Honestly, never mind. the title of the album, and in the post he says my 7th album, so he is promoting this as his album. Mm-hmm. Like, this is one of the ones that you got to compare it to. Like, when you rank his catalog, like, it goes in the album category. It's not a playlist, not a mixtape, or whatever care package and Dark Lane demo tapes were. Yeah, what do we think? The album came out. Have we all heard it?
I've heard it. Have you heard the whole thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've all heard it. It's definitely different. I like it. It's definitely more of my type of vibe, though. Type of the music I listen to more recently in the past, like, 3-4 years. As far as, like, dance and, like, house music type shit and super vibey. But when I saw that Coffee Black, our Black Coffee was executive producing it, like, he put out the track list and all the producers on it, executive producers on it, and I saw that he was on there. I'm like, all right, well, it's definitely going to be a little different. I didn't think he was going to go dive head first into a dance album, but
when there was no features listed on the initial track list, I know we have a hidden feature. It's not hidden anymore. I think he put it on.
Did he?
Apple. Yeah, I think it's listed. It's on. But when he put the initial track list, it was not. It was just, hey, here's the track list. Here's the album.
Yeah.
Before I get into my thoughts on it, I just thought that was cool. Like,
yeah. No, but I mean, back to I liked it. I know it got a lot of hate. A lot of people weren't expecting it to be that, and were expecting a rap album, and he didn't put a rollout to it and didn't really give any warning.
Just like his last rap album where he did a surprise release.
So when I first listened to it, I was listening to it off my phone. So I was kind of in that same camp of like, all right, this is like, whoa, what is this? Don't really fuck with it. Different. But then once I listened to it in my car and, like, I put my headphones on and listened to it and gave it a little bit more run, then I'm like, all right, well, this is, like I said, this is more of my vibe right now. So I fuck with it. It's not what, it's not Churchill Downs type of shit, that if that's what you're looking for, stuff like that he's put out where he's rapping. But I fuck with the vibe. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. It's going to do numbers, play all summer long, and girls are going to be shaking their ass to it.
Were fans wrong for maybe expecting Churchill Downs?
I wouldn't say they're wrong for it. It's just like you said, the way he didn't have a release for it, or like didn't promote it that crazy until it was like it's a surprise, and then
he did not promote it at all until
and then people were just thinking of like, oh, there's been albums coming out lately, like for instance, I mean, Pusha, you got
rap
Future,
albums. The rappers came out
you got Pusha, you got
Kendrick.
Future, you got Kendrick, like big rappers that
your boy Jack Harleezy. What do you mean?
I don't know if Drake necessarily looks at them as like competition anymore at this point, but like, he's got to look at Kendrick as competition. Future might not as be. Pusha, I feel like he holds Pusha in a different regard. I don't know if Drake
for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know if Drake looks at him like oh, I'm competing against Pusha, or like fuck
musically as far as numbers, no, but like there's a rivalry there,
and there's a respect. Like
he knows Pusha's got bars.
He was a huge Push fan.
Yeah, he knows he's got bars. So
before everything.
Yeah, and so when this album came out, I didn't, because y'all had talked about it. I was watching Game 6 though, so I was like, I'm not.
It was during the finals. Yeah.
I was like, I'm not staying up till 12.
I fell asleep.
I was like, I work. I was like, I work at 6 in the morning.
I was watching it in Spanish channel because we couldn't find the English one on our TV.
I was like, fuck, I'm not watching. I'm not staying up.
We were all piled into watching the Spanish NBA finals.
No. Draymond.
Bengo.
But yeah, so I didn't stay up for it, but I listened to it
the next day
in my car, like through an aux. So.
It
was on Bluetooth, but either way, like in your car, it's a lot,
You can feel
it was on Bluetooth. It wasn't through the aux.
Yeah, I wasn't through the aux cord, but either way, same difference.
No brokies over here.
But yeah, you definitely need to be in the right setting for it, and like I said, it's gonna do its job. It's gonna be played at parties, pool parties, clubs all summer. Like that's what that is for. Like
and long
to
drives.
Your point, like before we were talking, like you can't really compare it to his catalog because it's nothing that he's really put out. But like it is something completely different. Like at least most of his albums have like a little bit of everything as of recently of what he can do.
It's a Drake album. It's like a Drake category.
Yeah, but he definitely dove headfirst into this dance shit. And
can I go through my process of when I found out or this whole thing?
This whole thing.
I'm gonna try and come off straight down the middle, just exactly my feelings at the time. I had heard that there was a Drake summer album possibly coming, and when I had heard that, I thought in my mind that we were getting like summer vibes, but as Drake doing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that we were getting like
Or rappy, like
not even
rap-singing.
rappy. Like I was kind of thinking like it's going to be a Drake album, but it's going to be more like fun and kind of more
like
life
views and more like that type of
views. Yeah, like we're gonna get or like the best parts of Scorpion, like or maybe not the best parts, but the hits.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this will be cool. Like, I think Drake understood. My thought process was Drake understands the reception to Certified Lover Boy. We may like it, we may dislike it, but it didn't do what he intended it to do after that long of a break. It didn't capture the masses. It didn't stick.
It wasn't talked about the way he probably wanted it to be talked about.
I think that album's pretty terrible. I think you guys like it more than I do.
All right.
I mean, like a couple songs.
I don't go back and revisit it too often.
Right.
And I mean, it hasn't been a year yet.
It's 9 months.
Yeah, so it hasn't really been.
It was 9 months to the day that.
And I saw something, somebody showed me something that the pregnant lady, the emojis, whatever on the cover was kind of like
hinting towards it, that he had already had this planned out.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I think it plays well into
for sure.
Like, hey, if I have this thing and we can make it this deadline and we can get this album out in 9 months, like, why not?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like, he might be sitting on some shit if he's just, like, not angry, but, like, oh, y'all thought that I can't make a great album. Like, let me go back in the lab, cook up some. I mean, Jimmy Cooks is the outro, and I was like, he's going to go crazy. Jimmy, obviously, a reference to his character from Degrassi. Mm-hmm. Kendrick had dropped in between the two albums, so I was like, if he's this comfortable with coming this close to Kendrick, then he knows how good this album is. This is just my thought process before I heard a sound. I was like, this might be the one. This might be the Drake album we've all been looking forward towards. And then I was listening to the OVO sound thing, and I think they accidentally played a record or maybe like hinted at a record. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? Like, I knew it was Drake's vocals, but I did not like what I was hearing. I was like, that's an interesting way to hint towards an album or tease an album. Heard the intro, and then the Apple Music released it also. I was like, I'm not waiting through.
Yeah.
I'm going to go listen to it the way that they designed us to listen to it. Download it, wait for it all to download, press play. Headphones, AirPods. Like, this is how I listen to music. Let me just digest what I'm hearing. And I don't think that was the right setting for me to do that to that album because there's no words on the first song. So it's just like a beat that gets played for like 40 seconds.
Yeah,
and I was like,
long. The intro's not long at all.
Oh, like this is just in my head. I was like, oh man, like he's confident in this one. Then the second song came on. And not a lot happened in my production wise. Like that's not what I listen to first from a rapper.
Yeah,
it's just not. I'm going to listen to what you have to say. And that being said, I thought my first listen, I was like, this is terrible. This is truly awful of a hip hop artist to put out this album. And then I took a step back, and I was like, this isn't Drake the rapper. If you just look at this as a new artist put out a dance music, very Kaytranada inspired. Let's listen through that lens. The production's good. Where I have a problem with it is he doesn't produce anything.
Yeah.
He's not a producer. He can't make music. So what did he do on the album? He picked his favorite beats.
Maybe. Was vibing in the corner.
And sang a few croony hooks every 5 minutes because there's not a lot of words on the album.
No, there's not.
There's not. Even the hooks are kind of repetitive and basic. He doesn't do people are saying it's experimental. I don't think it's experimental. I think it's experimental for him to put his name on it and release it. He took a big risk doing that. But I don't think he's doing anything. He himself is not doing anything.
Yeah, out of the ordinary.
Wow, I can't believe he came up with this concept.
Yeah.
He took a style that is building up and is becoming more popular.
Yeah. But if you look at Drake's history, that's what he does. I mean,
and does well.
He just, before this, he's just been getting on and dropping fucking a Hot 16 real quick. Hopping on these young rappers, getting his whatever he got out of it.
And taking that sound.
Yeah, and then just making his money off of it. This time he just happened to, fuck it, I'm just going to drop a whole album and put that. But, to your point, you're right. That type of music is kind of, building up some steam and getting popularity because a lot of rappers and hip-hop artists are starting to work with producers that do more dance music, more house music, more of that type, more of that lane. So
it has more time to play. Like it's not just a, for instance, dance music is mixed majority of the time,
and it draws people together. It's drawing an audience because you're getting from two different demographics.
I think it also it's a lot easier of a music to survive and be viewed at as subjectively good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't there's not a ranking committee the way that there is hip hop.
For sure.
Where hip hop comes in, and if you put an album out and people think it's trash,
they'll
let you know.
Right. Whereas if you put a house music out and it sucks, people just go, it's a vibe. Like it's
And
it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
it's for somebody.
Yeah, it might not suck for everybody.
Yeah.
And it could be festival plays. Like he could be going for, like you said, different masses of people at this point. He already is like, I have the world at my fingertips. Let's see how many people
He can't screw up. I think that he's in a place where he's too big of an artist. He's not going to fall off. People are saying like because this album run has been not the best that this hurts his career.
Yeah. No, I feel
relax.
Yeah, everything up until this point from I don't know. I'm going to say after Views
has been subpar.
But I'm talking about like his legacy is cemented. There's not really much.
He's just icing.
Yeah, there's not really much he's going to do.
Layers and layers.
Yeah. Like,
onions.
There's not gonna really be much that's gonna fuck up his legacy and like really stain him like that unless like some type of damning shit comes out. But
yeah, and he had damning, not damning. But he had a controversy come out and people don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Post his kid a couple times. Boom.
He posted him a bunch today. It's Father's Day when we're recording.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there doing what they do.
9 months after Certified Lover Boy, the baby was born.
Shout out to Trojan.
Boom! Everything is fucking.
The only thing where I could say that this hurts Drake, and I'm not trying to come off as a hater. I don't. You guys stop me if I am. If I have been so far, do you guys think I've been?
No, I think.
It's your opinion on the album.
Yeah, it's not really your vibe. So
it's different for all of us.
The only thing where I could see like this hurting Drake is people who are looking for a great Drake album are now another album removed from his last great Drake album.
Yeah,
true.
Depending your feelings on Views, I think it's okay. I think it's aged not as great as some people think. I think some songs have aged really well. I think other songs have aged horribly. But I think it's overall it's a good album, and some people view that as the last great Drake project.
Yeah.
Some people view, if you're reading this, some people don't even think that. Some people think it's nothing was the same. But that 14, 15, 16 run, I think people would say is the last great Drake that we've had.
Yeah, that was his peak.
But it's been 6 years, and if you're like someone like me who's looking for Drake to drop a classic, you're just...
He's probably not going to do it.
It's probably not going to happen at this point.
I mean, since that, what has he had? Kiki, Hotline Bling. He's had like big records.
I don't care about those
I
records.
personally don't like him. I'm just saying he's had numbers-wise big records.
I mean,
God's plan.
Yeah, he's going to do numbers like that. But what Dennis is saying is like the fucking pure
the body of work.
The pure fucking
like
going back to his
album.
roots of like being a rapper and like Take Care and Nothing Was the Same and shit like that. Like in that time where he was actually like, where it seems like he was still trying to prove himself as a rapper and like cement himself in his spot in rap.
I mean, he's still, in my opinion, he's always going to be a rapper.
And now
as much as he removes himself from that, like at the end of the day, bro, like we fell in love with your music because you could rap.
Well, it was how diverse he could be.
That's not why I fell in, like I didn't give a fuck that he was diverse.
I like that.
A lot of people did though, and that's what set
But
him
I'm saying
apart.
like his diversity in his first album was he sings, he raps.
Yeah.
Which is not the most diverse shit in the world.
No, but the fact that
That's
he
his
was,
style of doing
singing and how he was singing and rapping at how he was spitting. It was,
I liked that part, but I'm saying when people go like, Drake's always been like dance hall and British vibes and the patois, and he hasn't been.
No,
that is a thing.
A little bit though, because Find Your Love has that type of vibe.
But that's written by Kanye. That's not Drake.
It is though. It is because he was the one that did the song. I mean, it's not like he's just picking shit that he doesn't want. I mean, he has some type of influence.
It's his ear for sure. But Drake has never. Drake didn't come out as.
Yeah, he was a rapper. He didn't come out as like
he was a rapper who sings.
Yeah.
Or a singer who raps. He is not that anymore.
He's an artist at this point, though.
He's a mogul.
He's an artist, and I feel like the people who were disappointed in it are the ones that are still trying to keep him in that box of being a rapper. When at this point, just because of what he's done in the career path that he's taken in rap, or in music at this point, is now he's an artist.
As a rap fan, I'm always going to hold him to a standard of rapping. And for me, he hasn't had a great rap album in some years.
For sure, but then you're setting yourself up for disappointment every time.
Okay, but he did that.
I mean, well,
No,
When you show me you can do this,
but that doesn't mean
and
he's
then you
gonna,
never touch that again.
But because
you're Lupe Fiasco
Hold
to
on.
me.
his
hold on, time out. To go off of a
Drake
point,
is not Lupe
wait, wait, wait.
You're
Fiasco.
Wale. Like
don't compare him to them.
Oh,
To
that's
go off
rude.
a point
His
you've
rapping-
made
Now you're
before.
hating. Now you're hating.
his rapping career.
Now you're hating.
Drake the rapper. Drake the rapper.
It can never be compared to Wale.
All right, pretend Drake doesn't do anything else but raps.
Okay.
Then he would be.
Just look at his. No, I'm saying just look at what he's done rapping wise in his career.
Mm-hmm.
You would say that he fell off really hard.
But he doesn't do that.
I agree with that. I'm saying if you just looked at what he,
I mean, he'd still be on features even till now. Like the
But if
Future
he-
album, he was
if-
still on features.
But if he was still rapping and just strictly being a rapper, I feel like he would have
we
further.
would have had more rap.
Yeah, and that's what he would have stuck with, and he would have further.
I'm just judging the rap that we've gotten.
Fair enough, but now that his mind's in other places,
I can't assume that he can still rap well if he doesn't show me he can still rap well on an
but
album.
he's put out songs that he raps
On
well.
an album, I'm saying. I can't say Drake makes great rap albums if I don't.
right, well,
if you haven't made a great rap
But
album.
you can't say he still can't rap well.
I'm not saying he can't rap
Oh,
well. I'm
I
saying
thought that's what
I'm
you-
saying the fall off. Like Wale can still rap well. Lupe Fiasco raps really well. And Lupe Fiasco is not fair because he makes really good music still.
Yeah,
that can't be
he's just-
compared to Drake, though.
No, he makes better rap albums than Drake now. Better rap albums. I'm not
can't
saying
be
he makes better
compared.
albums than Drake. I think he does, but
Can't be compared.
He cannot be
And
compared.
I was gonna go to
Lupe
this.
Fiasco,
Look.
Lupe Fiasco.
I was gonna go off a point you made
Is nice.
episodes ago.
Lupe Fiasco is nice.
This is a point you made specifically episodes ago. You can't go into this is what I'm going to tell you for Drake now. You can't go into listening something from Drake with giving it.
You're talking about my future take.
Yes, I am.
When I say you have to go into a future album expecting a future album, you can't go in expecting great
Like
rapping.
how he told you, because you still haven't fucking listened to Future's album because Eric's
it's
a
all right.
bitch.
But to my point, is it not similar to his past work? Is there anything that I'm missing? Is there anything that I haven't
You'll
heard
like
from?
some of it.
I think Future grew as an artist. I think this album is better.
But is there anything that I'm missing as far as like?
yes, you are.
Have you heard the big song?
Yeah.
Then no.
Which
So
one?
that,
Which
but
big song?
that's the one with Drake on that album.
That's not even my favorite songs on this.
That's not your favorite, but I'm saying
it's
like
the
that's the
big-
most he's
yeah.
reached out. Like
I'm saying like
he made a real Future has not made a very good pop song in a while. People hated his pop album.
I mean these artists now that they're starting to hit that time where they're just
He's 40.
yeah they're
Future is
just
40.
yeah it's like they're just getting too old.
Well, I think he's still rapping about Xannies and Lean,
It's like bro, you got to get your life together.
even though
man.
Puffin' on Zooties is his fucking like third song on the
Yeah,
album.
it is. It's a good song though.
Oh,
And
shit.
For a Nut, like it's like
I hate that song.
that song is terrible. Future has some swings and misses, but at least he swung for something.
yeah.
Song for the
I
fence.
mean-
And respect for
misguided.
Drake, he tried something. I don't like it.
I mean, I like it. I like the vibe. Like, for instance, it was a perfect. I had a long hour drive today,
Yeah, so that
hour
was
and a
a
half
nice
drive.
little fucking.
It was a perfect time, perfect setting to listen to something like that. You're cruising. I was dancing through traffic.
Sets the summer
Literally, I
vibes.
was bobbing and weaving on I-4, just vibing. Just,
Sets the summer vibes. I mean,
and,
overall,
and then you got the song at the end with 21. That's like a
yeah,
actual like.
I didn't like it.
It's
it was
to
alright.
to go.
Maybe just where my head was, while I was
Yeah.
already in like.
I think
skit
you are-
fest.
fuck this.
Yeah.
This is trash.
Yeah, it was.
I
like-
wasn't as angry as Jordan. I'll tell you that.
Well, Jordan played that because he was like, "This is the only song I could play off this." But Jordan was also looking for it for
A
rap
rap album.
perspective.
Oh, we had kind of hyped it up as like he's gonna drop some shit, and then when I was like, "This is some shit,"
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
But like, if you listen to it, and you, like I said, you got to have a little bit of open mind. But plus, it depends.
I
on-
hate that.
It
I
depends.
hate that.
Not even that. It just depends how you like how everyone listens to music. For instance, I like music for beats.
Yeah, I'm
That's
more
more
an
of
instrumental
something.
guy.
That's more of something I look for.
Oh, I agree with you.
You look more for lyrics. So it's a
Drake does
different-
one of those two things.
Yeah,
I know, but
Drake makes
any
lyrics.
song-
He doesn't make beats.
I get it, but even it's. I'm not saying lyrics aren't important, but it's artists picking a good beat selection that makes it make or break for me.
Do you think he picked this?
I don't.
I think
I
he had his
believe
hand
so.
on it. Of course, I feel like he has his hand
Like,
on it.
I don't care
I don't
what
know how. I don't know how involved it is, but I feel like he definitely has his hand in. It's definitely part of his.
He's one of the executive producers.
He's like it's his vision on it. But I mean, before we move on to the next topic, we'll go and kind of give it a little rating or just where you.
I don't even think I can rate the album.
There you go. Keep it coming.
I don't know if you can like. I said this outside. It was like I took a French class, and then they asked me to review the course at the end. Like, I don't know. It seemed fine for people who like that type of music. If you ask my personal enjoyment of this album, 1 to 10, low, a 1. I thought it was terrible. I think he raps really terribly on the entire album. I think his vocals are repetitive and nonsensical. I think he has, dry energy throughout most of it, and he's carried by great production. And that doesn't... When I'm rating you on what you bring to the table, and all you bring to the table is your lyrics and your singing ability, and I thought all of those were subpar, then I can't say I enjoyed the album.
Jacob?
1 to 10, I'd give it a 6.
Look what we were talking about, though. On a Drake album.
But, I mean, when you're comparing it to what he's done, I mean...
I'm comparing it to music. I'm not...
But that's not fair because,
but you don't listen
like
to
you
that
just
genre
said,
of
production-wise,
music.
it's
Yeah.
good.
So it's kind of...
So, I mean, it's,
It's a fucked
to
up
me,
argument.
I like it. I like that type of music. That's something that I've been listening to a lot more in the past 3-4 years. So it's something that I like it. It's not his best album.
Is this a great version of that type of music?
It's pretty,
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, a lot of that is more. It's not even about lyrics and words. A lot of the words are just kind of like filler to kind of give you a vibe and give you a feeling.
It's a flow.
But the production of it and like
it's just what that
the progress of it. I mean, real shit. I mean, I like it. It's something that I'll
1 to 10.
I'll probably give it like a 6.5, a 7.
Do you think you see yourself revisiting this album in 6 months?
I might still be listening to it.
Maybe.
It's too early to tell.
I think I could see it just because like I've gotten a lot more into instrumentals and just like
I listen to a lot of shit though. I listen to Pusha today. I listen to Kendrick today.
But
I listen to every album.
I didn't think it was bad. I just think the expectation of what people thought it was going to be is what made it seem like it was so terrible. But I do think by the end of the summer it will grow on some people. It's not going to be his best work. It's not going to go in his, all time.
Yeah, it's not going to be on the Mount Rushmore.
It's not going to be on his greatest
but
hits, but it's definitely something, and I liked it for what it was.
Closing thought before we have to move on, before the next topic. How long before we get another Drake project? Mixtape, album, whatever
his birthday.
Fuck he wants to call it.
A
October?
A feature? You think a feature, does that count too?
No. I mean a project. Even
Probably-
a
probably
collab
way too
mixtape
soon
with
then.
like features.
No, I don't. I think October's too soon.
Yeah, that'd be too soon. Probably this time next year. Another summer thing. You have a year to sit on it, Dennis.
Yeah, I think it comes out in he won't put nothing out until 2023. So, hey, have fun revisiting. Take care, and nothing was the same, and all his old.
when he used to rap.
Exactly.
used to rap well.
That's always fun going down memory lane, listening to old albums and shit.
When he was like, what was the thing? He goes, I made $1 million off nostalgia, or like I made a history. Like,
he made a career off of reminiscing.
Made a career off reminiscing. Like, we are now Drake fans have made a career off reminiscing. We like Drake for everything he did 10 years ago.
Oh shit!
I mean, he's funny.
When's the last time we've been sitting around and been like, let me play something from Scorpion? Like,
I mean, it's more of a shuffle thing when it comes on shuffle. There's songs on there, but all right. Anyways, we got to move on. NBA Finals.
Warriors.
We'll
done it again.
Real quick, the Warriors won their fourth one with their core guys.
Great for the Warriors. Not a dynasty. Great achievement though.
Not a dynasty.
I'd have to say they're a dynasty.
You'd have to say
point.
the organization is at this point.
Okay.
Well, they're that core. That's a dynasty. They've been to what 8? No, they've been to 6 finals in 8 years.
Do we count the Spurs as a dynasty?
Yes.
Yes.
The Spurs are definitely.
Yeah. So then,
But that's 5.
Yeah. Well, they got 4. The Lakers.
for
The Lakers
instance,
in
the
the early
three-
2000s only got.
I don't think that's a dynasty.
Shaq and Kobe.
I feel like
The Shaq and Kobe Lakers.
that was a
I
dynasty.
think
it's about.
That's 3 in a row.
I think it's about the number of
yeah,
finals you go to and how many times they won.
They
won
went to 4 out of 5.
I know, but think about it. 5 years, you go into 4 finals. Like that's the highest point
Are the Heat
in the
a dynasty?
NBA.
I think
The
people would consider
LeBron's
them-
Heat, yeah, they were a dynasty.
I think
4
people
straight
would.
years.
I mean, it's kind of
Maybe
hard because
my rating
because I
for
think
dynasty.
LeBron is that dynasty
Because he did it before and after and during.
Yeah,
He didn't do it before.
He went to the finals before.
Once.
Yeah.
It's not a dynasty if you go once.
No, we're saying that he went to the finals
But
without them,
Cavs teams
with them,
aren't dynasties.
and then went without them, and then traded conferences and went again.
and won. But so I mean, I think at the end of the series, my takeaway was Boston kind of ran out of gas.
Tatum sucked.
Tatum did not show up. He's going to get a lot of criticism and a lot.
He deserves it.
He does. The thing is, though,
Look,
is that
you bring the Kobe comparisons onto yourself.
yeah, and then he started with the self-doubt stuff, and that shit started swirling around, and that I'm not whoever said I was a superstar, like I never said that, and when he said it earlier this season that he had doubts of being the number one guy and shit, so that started catching in the media, and people started running with that. So I mean, he's gonna catch a lot of heat, but Jaylen Brown
played his ass off.
Go
I
ahead,
was gonna say, he's impressive. He played his ass off through these entire playoffs to me. Like I've always known he was pretty good. Like they're 1-2 for the Celtics, of course, but he really impressed me with what he was doing. He
definitely showed it's more of a 1A, 1B type thing, and on some nights he is 1A because it seems like he has more of the
Tatum's potential is higher. Jaylen Brown's more consistent.
Mm-hmm. And he has more of the potential. He seems like he has more of that personality.
I'd say
of being an alpha.
What fucks Jaylen Brown up is Jason Tatum. Like he wants Jason to be the star, so he kind of backs off, and I feel like that fucks up his game. Like when you see them both early start attacking and stuff. I mean, I saw it in the Miami series, for instance. When Jaylen Brown would start like attacking us early, they were fucking us up. Like that's how they won their big games. Is Jaylen Brown was getting after it from the jump. Mm-hmm. When he lets Jason Tatum fucking take off first and then tries to get his, you could tell he's struggling to get his.
He was being very passive. He's very passive.
Yeah, it's both of them. Like they both have to have that switch of on. Like we're on. Like that's it. Like game just started. We're going.
It was one of the now that it's over, just looking from a bird's eye view. Mm-hmm. It was one of the more non-interesting finals.
Yeah, it was underwhelming. I did mention that to
Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd. He had texted us about it, and it was very underwhelming. Like once you sit back and look at it, it was kind of like, all right, well, the Warriors won. Like
Curry played well for like 3 games. Like elite.
Yeah,
like where it was exciting.
Yeah, 43-point game.
That's the one they lost, ironically.
This game 6 played good.
But like the Celtics just. It definitely felt like, all right, you don't belong. Like you're actually not. I actually don't think either of these two teams was like
the best team in the league.
Maybe they were, but like if the league might have just been down.
I feel like if Milwaukee was healthy,
I think it was injuries.
they would have won again. I think if Milwaukee's healthy, they win again.
Probably.
Or I mean, you could have said the same thing about like I don't know if you could have said the same thing, but the Grizzlies series. I mean, Warriors were, and this is what happens in the NBA.
It goes to 6 without Ja.
When your fucking a star player goes down, that's what can happen in the NBA. But it's one of those things that it takes a lot of luck and some injuries. Mm-hmm. Usually, the healthiest team wins, and they were the healthiest team.
And not for nothing, Jason Tatum, didn't he hurt his right shoulder in the Miami series, right?
Yeah. He hurt himself. Marcus Smart hurt himself.
Yeah. The Warriors were healthy enough, and they've been there. Yeah. They knew how to get it done. Yeah. They knew what it takes.
I will say the Celtics are some dogs though, because they did show fight. It's not like they just gave up.
Yeah, that last game they just looked shot though. They just looked.
They were trying, but they couldn't hit shit. Like they were battling back. I mean, they did bring it back to.
They used all their energy in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, and then after that.
They were playing from behind the whole time. They did catch up. They got it down to 8 at one point or something like that. Right. But after that, right back to fucking
I never felt like Boston was going to win that game.
It really didn't.
It did. Not at all.
I mean, like I said, in the first 5 minutes, you're like, oh, shit. And then they fucking nipped that in the butt real quick.
And then this 21-0 run. Yeah. That's when it was over.
Late third quarter, and then Steph hits the fucking damn near half-court 3. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
They won it.
That shit was.
When he did that shit, ring.
Either Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown need to work on their ball handling, or the Celtics need to bring in a more pure point guard to run that offense and initiate it because
the turnover issue.
Yeah, their turnover.
They
Jason Tatum had the most turnovers in playoff history.
They were sloppy ball handlers. Jason Tatum was a lot.
He had 95 turnovers.
I will say that some of that, I don't know if it's causation or correlation. Because the number 1 team with turnovers before the Celtics was the Golden State Warriors. And nobody cares that they turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
The number one turnover, the guy who turned the ball over the most before Jason Tatum was LeBron James. And nobody cares because he wins finals. So if a couple things go right in that game 4 and they close it out the way they should have and they're up 3-1 and then they win the series, even with all those turnovers, people just go, oh, who cares? They battle back.
Yeah.
They're gritty. They play good defense.
I mean, that is the thing about.
So I don't want to just
basketball.
point to this and be like, this is the reason they lost.
Well, not
but
only the turnovers.
games got away from them because
Yes.
they turned the ball over.
But not only
hard to
that,
win
but
games
in
like
their
that.
half-court offense, it looked sloppy, especially in the last 2 games.
they
Their
don't have an offense.
Yeah, their half-court offense was, you could tell, like, they just would lose all confidence and all flow in their
The only
half-court.
one with some shit in his neck that's willing to go do it is the guy you don't want taking no shot, when Marcus Smart. Like,
Oh, God.
like
And he was
everything that makes
flopping, like-
Marcus Smart great is why they lost.
And he was flopping like no other in Game 6, and it was like, come on, man. Like,
That's what he does.
Get it
Well, he
together.
thought they were going to get the refs on their side because I think the previous game had been officiated pretty horribly, and
Yeah.
they had gotten called out on that. So he thought that the refs were just going to be on their side. And
It's just how he plays. He plays like a bitch.
I mean, he's the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, still.
Take that
bitch.
for what it is.
Robert
bro.
Williams is the best defensive player on the
Yeah.
team.
Oh, my God.
He's
got robbed.
He's
He is-
elite.
He got
Yeah,
robbed
he is.
of the defensive player of the year.
He was.
I thought he
injured
was
a
the
lot.
best player
He was
in the
injured
series,
a lot
not
during
named
the-
Steph Curry.
Yeah, I heard a lot
That's
of
what
people
the-
make the argument for him to be like if they were to win like a dark horse MVP for the series,
Finals
because
MVP.
he was altering shots. I mean,
That's what
Get
they
The
it
block
for-
numbers,
yeah.
the rebound numbers, like you just see how he
On the-
works
on
on
the
the
player
court. It's just
rank-
fun to watch.
on the player ranking. They put him as number 2.
Behind Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
And then Jason was 3, and then
Well, they're
like-
wrong.
Jaylen Brown was ahead of him.
well, they're wrong.
Yeah, Jaylen
Well, I
Brown
think
was
that's
the
what
better
I'm
player
pretty
in the
sure
series.
that was the power rankings I saw.
Draymond was better in the games where he didn't foul out.
Draymond sucks.
I mean, he showed
No,
up
he
in the
doesn't.
last
I don't give a
game.
fuck
He
that
doesn't
Draymond has four rings.
Draymond does not suck.
He sucks.
He doesn't suck, but he was definitely annoying.
sucks.
And again, both of us, it just kind of seemed like it was a little underwhelming finals, and like the conclusion to the season, which up until like this finals, like it was pretty exciting as far as like parity, and it's not the same teams, kind of, and we're not really the playoffs were a little bit more unpredictable this year.
And then all it comes down to is the team that's been there before knew how to win.
So I mean, nothing, not taking away from it, but it it was
All these
kinda
young
like,
stars,
All right, he
the
doesn't
league is.
suck completely, but he sucks. Like
You might hate him, but
I don't hate him actually. Like I feel like he's working. I just think he does a little too much to try to promote his after basketball career.
because it's almost
early.
over.
That he just annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
He always
he knows.
he's a dirty player to me. Like I don't like the way he plays. You can call him gritty, but he's not really like
Chris
He's a
Paul.
gnat. He's a gnat.
no,
He's
like
annoying.
he's more like a fucking
Chris Paul's a dirty player.
You see his fucking
Kyle Lowry's
you,
a dirty player.
I never liked Kyle Lowry. He just happened to be traded to the Heat. You see like
Jimmy
the,
Buckets is gritty.
You see the way like he sets screens though.
Yeah.
Like that's not a fucking legal screen.
The
Like
Golden State Warriors have never been called for an illegal
I know it's
screen.
ridiculous.
Get over it.
It's so stupid to
It's
me.
been
He literally just trucks
almost
people
10
and
years
it's
of
like
this shit.
all right,
They literally they just pick people and like throw their shoulders.
Yep.
And,
it's fine. It's stupid. It's just stupid.
but yeah.
But there you go. The NBA finals.
Steph, do we feel any different about Steph?
Nope. I thought Steph was the greatest shooter ever before this. I think he's the greatest shooter now. I don't think he's top 5 all time. And
He's
if
never
you want
gonna
to
be
debate
top
after
5.
that, that's cool with you.
He'll never be top 5.
No. I mean, I think we're all in agreement there.
People tried to
He's
throw him in
been
the top
great,
10.
and this didn't make him greater.
Do you think he's now in the top 10?
You think he's better than Kobe?
I do not.
I'm just gonna go through them fast. Kobe,
Nope.
Duncan,
Nope.
Magic,
Nope.
Bird,
Fuck no.
Jordan,
Hell no.
LeBron,
Nope.
Shaq,
Nope.
Wilt,
Nope.
Russell, Hakeem,
Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon,
Charles.
Charles
He
Barkley,
didn't win one, but
Charles isn't.
he's a top 15 player in my
I-
opinion. Top 20, top
Carl
15.
Malone.
John Stockton.
I would say he's better than John Stockton.
I'd say he's better than John Stockton.
And Carl, I mean,
Kevin
Carl
Durant.
has got the most.
Kevin Durant.
I think I would take KD 10 out of 10 times over
Yes.
Steph Curry.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like if you don't, you're a fucking idiot. So
So yeah, not top 10,
Top 20?
7-footer with
Great
ratchet.
player.
Top 25?
top 20.
I'd say top 20,
All
or
right.
maybe you could even squeeze him in the top 15 because
If
I mean
somebody
I
said
could
he's
probably
number
you
10
could
all time,
probably
I wouldn't
put
be like,
you could probably put Steph over.
Blasphemy.
could-
Stephen A. Smith.
I could see Steph over Charles because I mean he's
Okay.
he's one of the greatest shooters in the world and he's got 4 rings. Charles has 0 rings. He's got 2 MVPs. You know, Charles does have an MVP, but
it's up for conversation. I wouldn't.
So I could
slam
see
the
I
door
could
on
see
it.
Steph over Charles and maybe Steph over
Oh, Kareem,
Carl.
by the way, the number
Oh
2
my
player of all
gosh.
time,
He's just
Who?
so quiet.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Number 2 player of all
I
time.
thought you mentioned him. Did you say Hakeem
I said
instead of
Hakeem.
Kareem?
Yeah.
Okay. Even
Is
both
this,
of them though.
Is this the end?
Both of them are better.
Are we going to see another ring from Golden State?
No.
Are they going to go on another run, or is this it?
This is it. They had their shot to build this legacy if the Wiseman and Kuminga pick had been better. If that had been like Anthony Edwards or LaMelo or
I don't know though. They might go to. It's still wide open.
I mean, it's
I
wide
wouldn't
open.
say never.
Anything can happen.
I
in the
wouldn't
league.
say never. Like they could possibly win
But
another one.
do you think you see?
They have, they got Andrew Wiggins. They got young talent still.
All right.
They have their core.
Andrew Wiggins ain't young.
He's young enough. He's still in his. He's
He's
not
like
even in his
26,
NBA prime.
27?
That's not even
Yeah.
NBA prime.
That is NBA prime. He's in his NBA.
Your
prime.
NBA prime is till you're like 32.
I know, but
33.
he's in the middle of it, so he's.
I
only
think
got,
LeBron
like,
has
just starting.
readjusted what
He's
we
just
think of NBA prime.
He's just starting his prime.
Okay, but
NBA prime is usually 26 to 32.
I don't think he.
That's like their NBA
I
players.
don't
Like
think
they're
if
an
he's
adult
if
at this
he's the
point.
one that you're leaning on, unless he does go through this, continues to mature as a player. And
I mean,
does it. But I don't think
he played good. I mean,
Yeah, but
I
as a
agree
fourth-
with
as a
what
third or
we
fourth
usually
option,
say. Like he's one of the players that you just forget he's on the
Yeah,
court.
he's first team.
But
Forgot Andrew.
He was locking up Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
He was scoring. He was the second. I don't know the exact stats. I'm pretty sure he was the second leading
Yeah,
scorer though.
I think he outscored Clay.
So
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
Clay did not have a good series. He
he
didn't really have a
didn't.
good playoffs.
But I mean, even Jordan Poole, like Andrew Wiggins was hooping. He was getting 20 a night, 24. I think he.
Andrew Wiggins is fine, but
He just
I'm
doesn't have the
building
personality.
a second run of a dynasty.
Yeah.
I'm not putting Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah,
And
but
he
that's
might-
not your centerpiece. You still have Steph.
But
You
he's
still
gonna
got
retire.
Kawhi.
He's not gonna be there for much longer. As far as like a key, your number one guy.
He's
Because
a shooter. That's fine. You got Jordan Poole.
I don't think
Is Jordan Poole like that?
I don't think he is.
He's pretty nasty. He's pretty fucking nasty.
I would err on the side of
It's
this.
tough to go to an NBA Finals.
Yeah, I think this is their last
I
one.
would
I think they'll be in contention, but I don't think they go back.
Dallas is getting better.
I think their core pieces are
Dallas
getting
is
older.
better. The Suns.
They're not getting better.
I think
They
it's-
peaked.
Yeah. I think they had their time came and went. But the Golden State Warriors, I think Draymond is on the
Denver's
downside.
getting Murray back.
I think Klay Thompson is on the downside. I think Stephen Curry he's on the backside of his career. Although he is such a great shooter, he can extend it. And if Klay and Curry are willing to take lesser roles later in their career, I think they can maybe, depending on
that's what I'm saying.
How I think Golden State could have continued this run is how I just said. I think that if those two picks had panned into like another one of those guys, unfortunately they missed on probably both of them.
We'll see though. We'll see. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they win.
They definitely missed on Wiseman. I don't think Wiseman is good.
He's only played like 2 games, 5 games.
No, he's played a few games, but like
but
Kuminga's the better player of the two of them.
for sure. So should be an interesting.
If they had gotten
offseason.
Scotty Barnes, like it would have been like, oh man, Golden State is gearing up for another run.
But we'll see. So offseason
Never
should
know.
be interesting. We'll definitely talk more NBA later as free agency and draft comes around. Orlando's got the number 1 pick.
Chet, don't overthink it.
Turn up. I think they might be leaning towards that dude.
Paolo.
Yeah. We'll see. But do we want to talk about UFC real quick?
Sure, we can mention it.
How much time we got?
We are at 50,
All right.
but cut out some stuff.
All right, so real quick, UFC 250 or 275. My bad. 275 was what, like a weekend ago now at this point. So we do have a new light heavyweight champion, Yuri Prochazka.
Your boy.
Yuri Prochazka. He the fight was actually really fucking good. It was probably fight of the year at this point. They were beating the shit out of each other the whole fight, and Yuri Prochazka was probably gonna lose the fight because he was losing the last 2 rounds. And
I
then
want to say he was losing that.
he got knocked out standing up and then got punched again and was back in the fight. That was the wildest shit.
It was when Glover went for the guillotine. He was basically out on his feet. And then,
then
when
he-
he hit the floor, he was like, oh, shit.
I'm back in
I'm
it.
still fighting. And then
And
he was on
then-
top, so he started doing some ground and pound.
Yeah, and they went through all 5 rounds. Last 30 seconds, Yuri Prochazka made Glover
last 30?
Teixeira. It was like the last 32 seconds, some shit like that of the fight, and he made him tap. So, I mean, overall, it was an exciting fight.
No one saw that one coming.
Do you think he's gonna? How do you think his run is gonna go in the light heavyweight? Do you think he's gonna
Well, it
last for a
depends.
while?
If he even said, he's got options. He could fight Jan,
Mm-hmm.
or he can give a rematch to Glover. Glover. Glover
shit.
Teixeira.
Depends what part of the
I don't
world you're in.
think, honestly, if he's not good in a knockout within that first 3 rounds, I don't see him keeping his title.
You don't think he keeps getting better like Francis?
No. He's I mean
only
his
3
style.
fights
Yeah. I do think he'll get better, but I'm just saying on his next fight, I do not see him beating a Jan Blachowicz or a Glover
seasoned vet.
again. Like he beat Glover. That was like Glover made a key mistake, and that's how he lost. He could have stayed up with him or just guillotined him. Didn't have to drop. Just literally guillotined him. It would have been over. He gave him his neck and everything. He was out of that fight.
Yeah, I mean 5 rounds.
But you never know.
Yeah,
everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. So.
That was I was not expecting them to go back and forth like that. I thought Yuri was gonna make light work of it, maybe a second round, first round finish, and I thought he was gonna start his run. But I mean, maybe I was underselling Glover and underestimating him.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Well, pretty much. But I could be wrong. I could say this, and he could have a freaking John Jones run today.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't believe it either. But,
your girl Valentina, I thought had a very underwhelming fight. And
she did.
Thought she lost. I thought she lost the fight. In my opinion, I thought she lost.
I mean, see, that's the thing. It's a mixed martial arts fight, so the scoring, I still don't understand it fully. I've watched UFC for some years, and I still.
There's
don't
no
understand
way she won that fight 49.
The 49-46. That one was bad.
She didn't win 4 rounds.
No, it was it was way closer than that. But look, on a fight like that, you have to do something. Like if you're in a decision fight and you're going against a champion, especially in a dominant champion. Yeah, you got ground. Like she was kind of getting ground control and stuff like that, but there wasn't any significant strikes.
From
landed.
what I remember, though, to me it seemed like she was controlling the pace of the fight, and she was more of the aggressor.
No, it was more Valentina was the aggressor, but then when they got to the cage, or like against the cage, Valentina shot actually, and when she went down, the girl flipped on top of her, and then basically kept ground control for like 2 minutes.
I don't know. It seemed like she was, to me, and again, it's been a week, so my memory might be a little fuzzy, but I thought she did do enough to really win the fight. It wasn't that impressive compared to what she usually does.
Correct. Compared to Valentina, hasn't been in I don't even think she's been into a 3-round fight in like the past 6 title defenses.
Yeah.
She's literally mauling people, but which is funny because in the press conference, she had said she saw holes in Valentina's game and she was going to expose them. And Valentina was like, I mean, everyone says they find holes in my game. Do it.
And she did. She did, but she just didn't win. Yeah. Unfortunately, she didn't finish the fight.
So we'll see how these.
You think there's a rematch coming?
There might. I think Valentina's going to fight Miesha Tate. Because Miesha Tate's dropping down to 125. So that's like the biggest name, Yeah. And Miesha Tate's a wrestler, too. So she's seeing this probably. She even said it on an interview. She's like, I saw that fight licking my chops. Like, I'm taking Valentina down. Because everybody knows you don't strike with Valentina. Yeah. Like, you just don't. She'll fucking kick you in the face, knock you out. But what people don't realize is her wrestling it's not that bad, but that fight, it did look pretty bad.
Yeah. What's her name? Jacek retired.
Or Joanna Young Jacek.
Retired to a spinning back fist to the face.
Yep.
First ever knockout in women's history from a spinning back fist.
You got knocked the fuck out. She was the strawweight champion for some years though. Her and Rose, and
there's probably those two in that division that are probably the GOAT of all.
They have the 2 longest title runs in that. Wei Li, I mean, she could if she
can come back and
if she can regain the belt, and then which is crazy because then Rose is gonna have to fight her for the 3rd time. But if Rose beats her again, she can't.
The second time she fucking made quick work of that.
The first time, the second time they went to decision.
Oh, was it
the first time she knocked her out? So you never know.
All right, well, I'm ready for the next 276
July 1st.
Second, Adesanya, and who fucking
Brunson.
There you go. He's a big guy too. He's fought in heavyweight and
3 title fights, right?
2, and then Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. And then there's a 3rd big fight though on that card, right? I think
Sean O'Malley's on that card.
He is. So that should be fun. We'll definitely get into that. I feel like there is an underlying theme of underwhelmingness in this podcast with the Drake album to some,
Everything was
with
a
the
little
finals
disappointing.
and
Great on
Valentina.
paper.
Oh, Sean Strickland and
Yeah,
Alex Pereira.
yeah.
So the only person to knock out Izzy in a fight is Alex. I think it's Pereira. I think that's how
In
you
their
say it.
kickboxing league.
And
Yeah.
their kickboxing.
The boogeyman's coming.
And
coming.
he's now
he's coming for gold.
He's now 5-1 in his.
I love Izzy.
He is. He's a good personality and a funny guy.
Oh, and I lied. It's not Derek Brunson. He just got knocked out from Jared Cannonier.
Oh, it's Cannonier. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
But he's fighting 3 in heavyweight and light heavyweight division. And now he's middleweight.
But Sean
Looking
O'Malley
for a
will
title
Third
fight.
weight
will
class.
kick off the card.
It's been his best one.
Oh, Misha Tate's on that fight too. She's fighting her first flyweight fight. Lauren Murphy, whoever that is.
Boom. Well,
But it's Sean Strickland. Yeah, that'll be a good
July
fight.
2nd, we'll be watching it, and then we'll talk about it the next day. So,
Most likely, whoever wins that fight, that middleweight fight before the main event,
yeah, it's probably gonna fight.
is gonna we'll
title.
probably call out
Izzy.
the winner.
I want you in the ring right now. WWE, bring out the steel chairs.
You get a match with the
And
Undertaker.
Do you think Alex? Who you gonna take in that? Alex or Max?
Alex Volkanovski.
They fought 2 times before this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Volkanovski.
Both times decisions.
Yeah, but
And
Max Holloway was putting the hands to him. He was putting.
I
the fucking hands to him.
thought both times I didn't think Alex won. The first time I could see how it would go his way though. I was like, all right, I could see that one. The second time I definitely thought Max won.
Give me. I need a little bit more time.
Okay,
To sit
we'll
on
give
it.
you a week or so.
But so yeah, hopefully there's more overwhelming things coming up than underwhelming things. Anybody else got to say anything before we sign off? Jacob.
No.
All right.
Get to work there, fellas.
Everybody
and
love
fellas.
everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.